freedom of speech.
You can call for violence against
it literally
generally. Yes, you can. You just can't be specific about it. You can
call for violence. Yes.
You can say kill the Jews. This is all completely legal. You can do that. You can't say kill Issa at this address at 4 p.m. Like that's the
Issa's not American but like our free speech laws are the best in the world in terms of defending free speech, and even though this speech is horrible, it's not illegal. You know what I mean? And like we're not going to make it illegal anytime soon. And when here's a good for instance, if Jewish groups get insecure and nervous and freaked out about people calling for violence against them, which is obviously very, very valid. It's a very valid thing to be concerned about. But then the part where you lose Americans is you go, we need anti-Semitic laws where you can't say anti-Semitic things. And it's but it's like, not, you might be against that. As an American, that's like
it's anti-American.
It's anti-American, and you are now like you're going from a place where like I can talk to you and we can have a conversation to a place where you're trying to take away my freedoms and liberties. You know what I mean? And
God, free less.
Huh?
I don't know.
I say, thank God, free at last.
When it comes to freedom of speech, I mean, like, I understand what you guys are saying. Like, I consider myself to be absolutist. Like, I think you should be able to speak about everything. But I also understand that there is a line, right, when you call for violence. And so maybe I am
call to action.
Unaware on like where that line is crossed. If you need really to be that specific as like go and kill.
So you can scream fire in a crowd.
Oh my God!
I know, but
Jesus Christ. Or that a call for violence, that it's like, okay, you need to wipe the Jews, and there are people acting on it. That would be.
I will say that you can scream fire in a crowded cinema if there's actually a fire.
Even if there's not, you can still scream it. Yes, you can. Fuckface.
No, it's not.
Yes, you can.
Disorderly conduct.
This guy. Who's this?
It is literally.
Yes, it's literally not.
Yes, it really is.
It's literally not.
Yes.
Well, that was a waste of time.
I guess here's a question: like, if someone does that, let's say like someone does that, and your kid gets trampled by someone running out. Like, I think you'd be justified like beating the shit out of the person who yelled that, right?
Well, listen, the point is you can go into a crowded theater and yell, yo, these nachos are fire, and you can scream fire. Okay. It's like all these things are like, it's about intent, behind what the words are. Like none of the words are illegal,
Exactly.
The intent can be illegal.
Trying to cause a panic,
right?
Leads to actual
but that's the problem.
harm right now. Then you can be prosecuted for that.
Yes. The immediacy of it.
It's Brandenburg, and the yell fire in a crowded theater was before Brandenburg. It's not the law of the land in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
But David, this is exactly what, for example, this phrase of globalize the Antifada means. Antifada, when you just translate the word, the word is uprising. It's like, it means nothing. But when you put it in context, there were two Antifadas. Both of them were against Jews. There were a lot of murdered Jews. And now the people talking about globalizing the Antifada, what do you think that they mean? Of course, people are not going to be speaking in very specific terms.
We know what they mean. They're calling for genocide. We're just saying it's legal for them to call for genocide. That's what we're saying. Not that it's good, but that it's legal.
Well, but it depends because you are actually.
It doesn't depend. He said you can. No, you're not. He said you don't know American law. Like, yes, you can call for violence broadly against a group of people. You can call for genocide. You can call for these things. They're completely legally protected speech.
So where do you draw the line about a threat? Because when
specific and credible. Specific and credible is what the threat needs to be.
Yeah, but hold on. You're discounting the fact.
Shoot that particular Jew.
Oh, what am I?
So this is where you are correct. However, when you are faced with politics and justice or lawyers, they will politicize your speech and arrest you. So freedom of speech is, again, it's political.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're always fighting for freedom of speech because people are always trying to criminalize it, but we have very strong constitutional protections. So, if it goes to the Supreme Court, the law of the land is that it has to be specific and credible. And like this has been settled law for a long time now. Can they criminalize you and do something that's constitutionally illegal to you? Yeah, they do that shit all the time.
Well, look at the people versus Larry Flint.
They did constitutionally illegal shit to us all throughout COVID.
Yeah.
Everything they did during COVID was constitutionally illegal. But if you took it to the Supreme Court, like you had to. Again, this is why the fight for censorship happens on social media more than it happens like in the courts, because whatever is accepted on social media is kind of whatever the law of the land is in terms of free speech in like a practical sense in today's day and age.
See, freedom is.
If I can't say it on the internet, then I can't say it.
See, if you go on X Spaces every night of the week, there's massive anti-Semite rooms with extreme anti-Semite speech. Now, if you were to censor that, what you're really doing is censoring stupidity. So censorship, again, it goes back to political control, in my opinion.
It's private property, because speech is an extension of owning one's own body and one's own self, and owning one's physical means of distribution of information. So it is an infringement upon one's individual private property to censor speech.
Yeah, 100%. And again, the way you counter... Go ahead.
Can you open my PTR briefly? I mean, look at this. This is what I am referring to. There is something called the Ku Klux Klan Act in 1871 from the US, which talks about when speech interferes with civil rights, right? When you are preventing someone from their rights of, movement or whatever, like, for example, if you're threatening someone and they know they're being attacked with speech because they're Jews, or they're being threatened, they are not going to be able to go to the synagogue, go out, or celebrate Hanukkah. So you are interfering with the civil rights of other people. And this is what I mean by threat.
And people being
this is not law of the land.
What is this?
This is a bad law from 1847 or whatever. And what is this, 1871? And this is constitutionally illegal.
So being here doesn't mean your rights are being deprived. Unless they're like blockading private property and being like, okay, we're all going to go out and, and even that wouldn't necessarily fall into it, but they're not actively suppressing things. Creating a climate of fear or something by posting stuff online is not illegal. That's not depriving people of their rights.
You see right there where it says suspend hate. It gives the president the power to suspend habeas corpus. That is constitutionally illegal. Lincoln did it, during the Civil War, and it was constitutionally illegal then. It's always constitutionally illegal. This is the thing, is like, we sometimes live in this state in America where, like, the state is doing things that are, this is what music was talking about, like, the state is doing things that are constitutionally illegal to us, and we have to just sit there and take it until it makes its way up to the Supreme Court, and then the Supreme Court's like, stop doing that. And it's fucking annoying, because you can live through a 5-year period or whatever where, like, they just are fucking suspending your rights and violating your rights willy-nilly, and then there's no consequences for it. And so that's like yet another problem. But again, in terms of like actual free speech, no, we are not putting any laws on the books that, criminalize hate speech, because hate speech is free speech. It's awful speech, but if you're going to be a free speech, advocate, you are a person who's advocating for people to say the worst things imaginable. There's no such thing as a free speech advocate who's like, I want people to be able to say, I like puppies and chocolate chip cookies.
See, you could make the
for Nazis. You are advocating for terrorists. You are advocating for the worst people on earth when you're a free speech.
I'm not against that. I mean, like, I 100% agree with you. I mean, freedom of speech is there to protect the speech that you don't like, the awful speech, right? Because nobody wants
not just awful speech, but the worst speech, the worst.
Total vulgarity and total profanity. You have to consider it as art. And if you shut down the critic, then that's censorship. So, for example, the Aristocrats joke, it's a joke for comedians. You ever seen a documentary? That's the most profane, disgusting joke that you can possibly say because it deals with incest and rape and murder, whatever you want to throw into that joke. But the ultimate gag is that people listened to you tell that joke and then they fall raged and they voiced it. So it's just like a cycle, a chain of like dopamine on the internet. But real censorship is what was happening prior to Elon Musk buying X, because CIA, FBI, Big Pharma, everybody was involved on total censorship, total mind control, total time control. And it's still like that, but at least there's an opening now.
People get deranked, and the way the promotion works, it's basically very much like groupthink celebrity. So if you say things that are controversial, if you're mean to people, you're allowed to do that. But then if a bunch of big accounts block you, then you will be deranked. And so basically, it's still mob rule. So it basically, it's
algorithmic rule. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not just it's like only say cheerful, positive things, only have one brand, and basically what it's doing is it interferes with the right of freedom of association. So if I want to say follow HODL and the algo decides, oh, HODL's too controversial, it basically prevents me from making that choice as an individual that I want HODL's ideas in my feed.
Yeah, no, X is still censored, but it's not censored to the degree it was during like the COVID years. I mean, that was like the worst censor. It's probably the worst censorship regime in history, in American history, not in global history, but in American history, that was like one of the worst censorship regimes we ever lived through.
I will also just point out, I have literally had 40 plus accounts on this stupid app itself.
President, exactly. That's the perfect example.
You have to realize I have had to create 40 accounts on fucking Clown House because of censorship here.
Where do you draw the line of like the call for violence that has actual consequences that materializes? That's what my head
it's a
has difficulty to understand.
Yeah, that usually is illegal.
But you gotta
say something. This is fine. Kill John Smith at 123 Main Street at 1 p.m. is not, and especially there's weapons nearby that whatever.
I'll give you a one that Issa like. Here's a gray area one, but it's not illegal, which is somebody could say something needs to happen to John Smith. This is a bad person. Somebody needs to take him out. That's legal. Even if somebody goes and takes that person out, that's totally legal speech. It's not nice speech. It's not good speech. But again, it's legal.
But dude, it's not legal until some liberal Democrat judge has the police arrest you. Look what they're doing in Great Britain, et cetera, with these social media posts, or the teacher with the LGBTQ students or the pronouns.
That's like one of the worst censorship. Right. They never had free speech, and it's one of the worst censorship regimes on the planet.
Is there going to be a civil war like in Britain and France? Like, what are this? Because
it's heading that way. Yeah.
Like, it's closer to going hot in Europe than it is in the U.S. And
you know why that is, Michael? Is because the state in the UK has lost the monopoly on violence, whereas our state still has the monopoly on violence. So that's the reason why they're closer to civil breakdown, is because their state is like, okay, look at the shooting in Australia, the Jewish atrocity that just happened. Like, there are reports that it took 20 minutes for the Australian police to return fire. Meanwhile, they were on the scene and they could have returned fire at any time. That's a weak, pussified police force who does not have command or control over the monopoly on violence. If it takes 20 minutes to respond to an active shooter situation, like, bro, your state is weak, and I think that's what's going on in the UK and France, etc.
You do realize that, like, even at U.S. Army checkposts at the front gates, even that National Guard soldier in D.C., they deploy U.S. soldiers to do security without ammunition.
Sure.
Yeah, the other thing is I think there's a geography factor because the UK and Europe, everything's way more compact. So everything's so spread out. It's like there's no like what would a civil war even mean? It would just be like skirmishes in different places.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Well, yeah, nobody's gonna. I mean, if somebody occupies Buckingham Palace or something, like, yeah, you're in a fucking civil war.
Do you know how long?
The same would be true here in America.
You know, on this app, if you go into African American rooms, for a long time, you've heard people calling that there's got to be a civil war in this motherfucker. See, that's just like dopamine flaring of a mind that doesn't understand how conflicts actually, happen, meaning weapons, supply, everything. Like, it's just stupid fucking waste of time because your iPhone doesn't explode when you toss it. And everybody in this whole goddamn fucking complex is completely addicted to their cell phone. So the whole thing deals with mind control, not like civil war, kinetically.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would say America's been in some version of a cold civil war now for, I don't know, since 2016 or something like that. Like, we've been in like a cold civil war that happens mainly on the internet for the whole time. But then, yeah, you walk outside and it's like fucking birds are chirping. Everything is normal or whatever. But on the internet, you log on every day and you're like an enemy combatant in the war. It's very bizarre. We live in a weird time, man.
Well, we live in the age of the cell phone because back in 2005, I remember getting my first Google phone, and how crappy it was. But now when you look at TikTok and basically the mind has gone silicon and everybody has this satellite orbiting them, constantly beeping and trying to get their attention.
100%. This is the reason why nothing ever happens, is because we get our dopaminergic fix on the internet, and it's like in a fake way, and then we're just like, okay, that's good enough, like we're kind of like
I was just messaging a friend about that, or like drafting a message, and then I saw someone else tweet about the same thing, which is like, do we actually prevent ourselves from taking action by tweeting? And is it better to just like sit with the anger until it actually drives a real action?
Tweet, yeah. Everybody thinks they're doing something by tweeting,
Well, look at it from.
By the way, this is the I think even worse is our elected representatives think they're doing something by tweeting. So it's not even like us, the populace. It's like the people who actually have their hands around the lever of power are choosing not to pull it and just to tweet about it instead.
It's Elon Musk too, right? Like that's the Elon Musk is just like tweet. It's like, okay, you're the world's richest man. Why are you just tweeting about it to us?
Well, when he was actually running for Trump, like he had this event in Wisconsin. Actually, it was for like a Wisconsin Supreme Court judge or something, and people were asking about Doge checks, like nice, innocent young Americans, like, Elon, when do you think we're gonna get a Doge check? And he's like, oh, well, So it's like if you go back to what he actually accomplished and what his money did, he himself was just going for the ride. But when you look at AOC's content or Mamdani's content, like Mamdani went and met with like 200,000 Orthodox Jews, and then you see him in a video with like Muslim. It's like Mamdani is the most mercurial everything there is type of person. But anyways, my point.
By the way, he's still a poster at heart though too. Like he's not going to get anything done in NBC, and then he's just going to post as if he's getting a lot done. And look, I'm in a bodega eating a fucking egg and cheese sandwich, because I'm fucking Muslim.
Well,
it's the weirdest shit.
Because violence is illegal, and it, murdering and physical violence is the worst thing that you could possibly do to a person. The pen or the video is now mightier than the sword because it does deal with population mind control, time control, and even Mamdani begging for money. Like, so my point is many people confuse the dinner with the menu, or I had some other good analogy, but anyways.
You're not wrong, but I think the conversation we're talking about sort of is when does if ever it spill over into the real world? And that's the conversation that there's a question many people have asked themselves over the last like 10 years. And the answer is seemingly never. but it doesn't feel like never. It feels like any minute. But it never but nothing ever happens, you know? But it feels like any minute something could happen. But then nothing ever does happen.
So my theory is that the now is the status quo, and the status quo is 99.9999% always going to be the status quo. So we are just living in this daily news cycle clickbait. Basically, it's Groundhog Day, but it's like clickbait day.
Dude, look at in the Australian Jewish shooting, there was a guy taking selfies of himself. In the Brown shooting, there were students videoing themselves. Like, even in the middle of an active shooter situation, there are people thinking, I need to post about this. You know, like, this is worth so many clicks. I gotta post this shit. It's crazy.
Well, the brain has to be fully integrated now into your, personality and in your digital format. So technically, like, when you pull out your phone, it is your greatest weapon. But in terms of police reform, I can remember the first video of like a cop shooting a guy in a park, and I'm like, oh shit! Like, now, anyways, what I'm trying to say is, you would think that videos and cell phones would stop war and stop police abuse, but no, it doesn't. Oh shit!
No, that's, it's interesting. It's like, I'm thinking about this while we're talking about it. It's like, let's imagine there was a dictator that arose in some country. Somebody just, Mussolini their way. They were on the march in Rome or whatever. And, what would happen? We would probably all just watch it from our phones and talk about how bad it was. But nobody would do anything to stop it, So, like, maybe that's the thing that makes it real, is like the territory is wide open. And you could just at any point just do shit. If you wanted to march Rome, everybody's so goddamn plugged into their device that, like, you could probably do it if you're out there. And then people would just kind of, like, it would be the big dopamine for the week or something. Like, it's so bizarre.
Well, look at Gaza. Cell phones didn't stop the invasion of Gaza, and they deplatformed that one biracial guy who was putting out those crazy dead baby videos, and those were on Meta and Instagram, etc. for months, like a year. But anyways, those videos were so graphic, but eventually that went away, and they stopped allowing that, I assume.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is like, during Ukraine and Russia, it's been very hard to figure out what's going on, because they kind of have a information lockdown on things that are happening. And you have to go on these, like, OSINT boards where you, like, follow all the, same thing with Israel, Gaza. It's hard to get a real, because it's like, people are like, this is, you'll see a piece of information, somebody's like, this is Hamas propaganda. And you're like, okay, is it not? And I don't really know, because I have no actual, because there's this, like, blanket that comes down, and we now can't see the dark spot on the map or whatever.
Look at that Nayib Bukele and the head of Panama. Like, they just had this meeting. That guy from El Salvador, he must have, like, the biggest target on his back out of anybody. From all these cartels, like, that guy every day must live in total fucking security, but even then, you'd have to be so fucking paranoid that somebody in your army isn't going to whack you.
Yeah, he had to cancel his trip to the Bitcoin Miami because of threats, cartel threats. I think when he's in El Salvador, he's pretty well protected, but when he's outside El Salvador, he's a target, because he hasn't done much traveling outside El Salvador since he started doing this prison crackdown on MS-13.
That guy's life expectancy.
He's interesting. That's that, like, you really can just put all the bad people in prison, and your society just instantly goes from worst in the world to one of the best.
But how did he do it? Did he do it with the CIA? Like, how did he actually get the judges out of power?
Do you think that the CIA has involvement down in El Salvador?
Yeah, 100%.
I think that's part of the Bitcoin experiment that's happening in El Salvador also. I think that's a CIA op. I have friends that have been down there and, you know, been in close proximity to Bukele and had run-ins with certain, you know, American guys in blue jeans. You know what I mean? And yeah, I think definitely El Salvador is a sandbox for us. I think El Salvador is kind of like the beginning of us gaining hemispheric control, you know, and also using it as a test case to see what a population will endure, like what works and what doesn't work, how you can do a monetary reset, how you can do like autocracy. You know, like I think there's
I mean, do you know how many guys are sitting in those prisons right now, butt to nut, you know, with their head down, running around, who are like in total disbelief? Like, where did this come from? Where did this energy, this like it had to have come from external forces to fucking do what they did.
Totally. Well, and also just imagine nothing could have ever been easier because it's like, hey, we need to round up all the criminals. And it's like, oh yeah, they literally all tattooed their faces. They have big tattoos, signs on their forehead that say, I'm a fucking criminal. It's like, okay, we'll just go get them. They just put them in this jail. You know, they really fucked themselves on that one.
Yeah, that's ironic. So I just want to encourage all the Bitcoiners out there, take the deepest breath of the day. Hold it for 10 seconds. 10, not 11. 10, not 9. Let it go. Let it go. Go, go, go.
Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds. Hold for 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold for 10 seconds. Let it go, 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 let it take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds, hold for 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold for 10 seconds. Let it go, 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 let it go. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds, hold for 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold for 10 seconds. Let it go, 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 let it go. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds. Hold for 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold for 10 seconds. Let it go, 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 let it go. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds. Hold for 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold for 10 seconds. Let it go, let it go, Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds. Hold for 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold for 10 seconds. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds. Hold for 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold for 10 seconds. The deepest breathe of the day. Hold for 10 seconds. Hold for 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold for 10 seconds. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds. Hold for 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold for 10 seconds. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds. Hold for 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold for 10 seconds. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds. Hold for 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold for 10 seconds. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
That music really loud for you guys. Or Michael or you or here. Can't see it. Hey buddy. Wasn't too loud. What up, Dave? What's up, Greg? What are you up to today?
Seek the truth. Only abstain from evil. Do not dwell in dubious. Be careful not to pursue them. The slightest trace of right and wrong, and mind is lost in confusion. One being is the source of the two, however, do not even maintain the one. One mind there is no arising, then everything is without blame. No blame, no things, no arising, no mind. The subject follows when the object ceases. The object is expelled when the subject sinks. The object is related to the subject. The subject is related to the object. If you want Both are equal, evenly contain innumerable forms.
Not different, shifting force and fine, and you will not be for or against. The great way is all embracing, neither easy nor difficult.
Small views are irresolute, full of doubt. Now
You know,
in
I heard about
haste
the solid
and
battery,
too
but the
late,
idea's been percolating in my head.
grasp beyond measure, and you will go astray.
All leads to spontaneity, the essence neither glows nor abides. Accord your nature with the way and go free of trouble.
Fettered thinking straight from the real, it darkens, sinks and spoils. To weary the spirit is not good. Of what use are strange and familiar. In following beyond vehicle, do not dislike the six sense objects. Not disliking the six sense objects turns out equal to perfect awakenness. The wise performs through non-action, the fool ties himself. Things are not different. Ignorance leads to preference. Do not seek the true, only abstain from views. Do not dwell in dual views. Be careful not to pursue them. Slightest trace of right and wrong, and mind is lost in confusion. One being is the source of the two.
However, you might maintain the one with one mind. There is no arising, and everything is without blame. No blame, no thing, no arising, no mind.
The subject follows when the object ceases. The object is expelled when the subject ceases.
The object is related to the subject. The subject is related to the object.
If you want to know these two, their origin is one emptiness. In one emptiness, both are equal, evenly contain innumerable forms.
Do not different shall be coarse and fine, and you will not be for or against. The great way is all embracing, neither easy nor difficult.
Small views are irresolute, full of doubt. Now in haste and too late, grasp beyond measure, and you will go astray. Letting go leads to spontaneity. Essence neither goes nor abides. Accord your nature with the way and go free of troubles. Better thinking strays from the real, the dark sinks and spoils. To weary the spirit is not good. Of what use are strange and familiar.
In following the own vehicle, do not dislike the six sense objects. Not dislinking the six sense objects turns out equal to perfect
leads to preference. The best way, not the figure. It only excludes picking and choosing. Once you stop loving and hating, it will enlighten itself. Depart for a hairbreadth, and heaven and earth are set apart. If you want it to appear, do not be for or against. To set longing against loathing makes the mind sick, not knowing the deep meaning of the way. It is useless to quiet thoughts. Completed is like great vacuity, with nothing lacking, nothing in excess. When you grasp and reject, there is no suchness. Do not follow conditions, do not dwell in emptiness, cherishing oneness in the herd. Everything will stop by itself. Rest to stop motion, and rest will move you again. If you are merely there, how will you know oneness? Now understanding oneness, you will miss in two ways. Expelling beyond you without it, following emptiness, you're always behind it. The more words and thoughts, the more you will go astray. Stop speaking, stop thinking, and there is nothing you cannot understand. Return to the roof and obtain the purport. Following the outcome, you lose the source for a moment. Turn inward and surpass the emptiness of things. Changes that go on in emptiness all have their cause in ignorance. Do not seek the truth, only abstain from views. Do not dwell in truth views. Be careful not to pursue them. The slightest trace of right and wrong, and mind is lost in confusion. One being is the source of the two. However, do not even maintain the one. With one mind there is no rising, then everything is without blame. No blame, no things, no horizon, no mind. set longing against glory makes the mind sick, not knowing the deep need. It is useless to quiet thoughts. Complete it is like great vacuity with nothing lacking, nothing in excess. When you grasp and reject, there is no suchness. Do not follow conditions. Do not dwell in emptiness. Cherishing oneness in earth, everything will stop by itself. Rest to stop motion, and rest will move you again. If you are merely in ether, how will you know oneness? Now understanding oneness, you will miss in two ways, expelling beyond. You will without it, following emptiness. You are always behind. The more words and thoughts, the more you will go astray. Stop speaking, stop thinking, and there is nothing you cannot understand. Return to the roof and obtain the purport. Following the outcome, you lose the source. For a moment, turn inward and surprise the emptiness of things. Changes that go on in emptiness all have their cause in ignorance. Do not seek the true, only abstain from views. Do not dwell into views. Be careful not to pursue them. The slightest trace of right and wrong, and mind is lost in confusion. One being is the source of the two. However, do not the best way is not to think you. It all makes good, picking and choosing. Once you stop loving and hating, it will enlighten itself. Depart for a rest, and heaven and earth are set apart. If you want it to appear, do not be for or against. To set longing against glory makes the mind sick, not knowing the deep meaning. It is useless to quiet thoughts. Complete it is like great vacuity with nothing lacking, nothing in excess. When you grasp and reject, there is no suchness. Do not follow conditions. Do not dwell in emptiness. Cherishing oneness in the earth, everything will stop by itself. Rest to stop motion, and rest will move you again. the roof and obtain the purpose. Following the outcome, use the source for a moment, turning words past the emptiness of things. Changes that go on in emptiness all have their cause in ignorance. Do not seek the true, only abstain from views. Do not dwell in dual views. Be careful not to pursue them. The slightest trace of right and wrong, and mind is lost in confusion. One being is the source of the two. However, do not even maintain the one. With one mind there is no rising. Then everything is without blame. No blame, no things, no rising, no mind.
Dualities come from the world. Do not be attached even to this one. All dualities come from above. Do not be attached even to this one. All dualities come from the one. Do not be attached even to this one. Although all dualities come from the one, do not be attached even to this one. Although all dualities come from the one, do not be attached even to this one. Although dualities come from the one, do not be attached even to this one. Although dualities come from the one, do not be attached even to this one. Sima. Only the sweat is Unando Alevi. Because Anando is one means belief or faith. This is not the faith in the ordinary sense. It is a belief that comes from first-hand experience, a faith which arises out of supreme knowledge and wisdom of enlightenment. This believing is an affirmation that all existence or reality is essentially the Buddha mind, which is our true nature. Hasten is the conviction that at the bottom of all phenomena lies the one mind, the Buddha mind which is one with our real nature, the Buddha nature. Hasten literally means heart. It means mind, not the deluded mind of the ignorant, but the Buddha mind. Hasten is the mind that merges with the all-encompassing one mind. Ming literally means inscription. It means written expression or record. Ming also means warnings or admonitions. Hasten Ming is one of the earliest and most influential Zen writings. It is usually referred to as the first Zen poem. It consists of 146 unrhymed, 4-1 verses to totalistic 4 characters. The Hasten Ming was composed in Shi 4 form. Shi was the principal poetic form in use in the early period. It is first used in the Book of Otis 5. Like the early Shi, the Hasten Ming consists of lines that are 4 characters in length. But contrary to most Shi, no end rhyme is employed in the poem. Means belief or faith. This is not the faith in the ordinary sense. It is a belief that comes from first-hand experience. A faith which arises out of supreme knowledge and wisdom of enlightenment. This believing is an affirmation that all existence or reality is essentially the Buddha mind, which is our true nature. Hasten is the conviction that at the bottom of all phenomena lies the one mind, the Buddha mind, which is one with our real nature, the Buddha nature. Hasten literally means heart. It means mind, not the deluded mind of the ignorant, but the Buddha mind. Hasten is the mind that merges with the all-encompassing one mind. Ming literally means inscription. It means written expression or record. Ming also means warnings or admonitions. Hasten Ming is one of the earliest and most influential Zen writings. It is usually referred to as the first Zen poem. It consists of 4-6 unrhymed, 4-1 verses to total zest of 4 characters.
His name was composed in shape or form. She was the principal poetic form in use in the early period. It is first used in the Book of Oldest Five.
Like the early ship, this enhancing main consists of lines that are 4 characters in length. But contrary to most shish, no end rhyme is employed in the poem.
There are 7 keys to the great gate, being 8 and 1 and 1 in 8. First let the body of thee be still, bound by the cerements of will. Corpse rigid, thus thou mayst abort the fidget babes that tease the thought. Next, let the breath rhythm be low, easy, regular, and slow, so that thy being be in tune with the great sea's Pacific swoon. Third, let thy life be pure and calm, swayed softly as a windless palm. Fourth, let the will to life be bound to the one love of the profound. Fifth, let the thought divinely free from sense observe its entity. Watch every thought that springs and hence, hour after hour, thy vigilance. Intense and keen, turned inward miss. No atom of analysis. Sixth, on one thought securely pinned, still every whisper of the wind. So like a flame straight and unstirred, burn up thy being in one word. Next, still that ecstasy, prolong thy meditation steep and strong, slaying even God should he distract thy attention from the chosen act. Last, all these things in one o'erpowered time that the midnight blossom flowered. The oneness is yet, even in this, my son, thou shalt not do amiss. If thou restrain the expression, shoot thy glance to rapture's darkling root, discarding name, form, sight, and stress, even of this high consciousness. Pierce to the heart, I leave thee here. Thou art the master, I revere thy radiance that rolls afar. O brother of the silver star. Crowley-da.
There are 7 keys to the great gate, being 8 in 1 and 1 in 8. First, let the body of thee be still, bound by the cerements of will. Corpse rigid, thus thou mayst abort the fidget babes that tease the thought. Next, let the breath rhythm be low, easy, regular, and slow, so that thy being be in tune with the great sea's Pacific swoon. Third, let thy life be pure and calm, swayed softly as a windless palm. Fourth, let the will to live be bound to the one love of the profound. Fifth, let the thought divinely free from sense observe its entity. Watch every thought that springs enhance, hour after hour thy vigilance, intense and keen, turned inward miss no atom of analysis. Six on one thought securely pinned, still every whisper of the wind, so like a flame straight and unstirred, burn up thy being in one word. Next, still that ecstasy, prolong thy meditation steep and strong, slaying even God should he distract thy attention from the chosen act. Last all these things in one o'erpower, time that the midnight blossom flowered. The oneness is yet even in this, my son, thou shalt not do amiss. If thou restrain the expression, shoot thy glance to rapture's darkling root, discarding name, form, sight, and stress, even of this high consciousness. Pierce to the heart, I leave thee here. Thou art the master I revere. Thy radiance that rolls afar, oh brother of the silver star. Come on.
There are 7 keys to the great gate, being 8 in one and 1 in 8.
First let the body of thee be still, bound by the cerements of will.
Corpse rigid, thus thou mayst abort the fidget babes that tease the thought.
Next let the breath rhythm be low,
Easy, regular, and slow, so that thy being be in tune with the great sea's Pacific swoon. Let thy life be pure and calm, sway softly as a windless palm. Fourth, let the will to live be bound to the one love of the profound. Fifth, let the thought divinely free from sense observe its entity. Watch every thought that springs enhance, hour after hour thy vigilance. Intense and keen turning wordness, no matter more than elusive. Six on one thought securely hid, still every whisper of the wind. So like a flame, straight and undisturbed, burn on thy being in one word. Next, still that ecstasy prolong, thy meditations deep and strong. Slaying even God should he distract thy attention from the chosen act. Last all these things in one o'erpowered, find that the midnight blossom flowered. Oneness is yet even in this, my son, thou shalt not do amiss if thou restrain the expression true. Thy glance to rapture's darkling through, discarding main form, sight and stress, even of this high consciousness. Pierce to the heart, I leave thee here. Thou art the master I revere. Thy radiance that rose afar, O brother of the silver star. There are 7 keys to the great gate, being 8 in one and 1 in 8. First let the body of thee be still, bound by the cerements of will. Course rigid thus thou mayst support the fidget babes that tease the thought. Next, let the breath rhythm be low, easy, regular, and slow, so that thy being be in tune with the great sea's Pacific swoon. Third, let thy life be pure and calm, swayed softly as a windless palm. Fourth, let the will to live be bound to the one love of the profound. Fifth, let the thought divinely free from sense observe its entity. Watch every thought that springs enhance, hour
thought securely pinned.
Still every whisper of the wind.
So like a flame, straight and unstirred, burn up thy being in one word. Next, till that ecstasy prolong thy meditation, steep and strong, slaying even God, should he distract thy attention. From the chosen act.
Last all these things in one o'erpower. Time that the midnight blossom flower.
The oneness is yet even in this.
My son, thou shalt not do amiss.
If thou restrain the expression, shoot thy glance to rapture's darkling root, discarding name, form, sight, and stress, even of this high consciousness. Pierce to the heart, I leave thee here. Thou art the master I revere. Thy radiance that rolls afar, oh brother, of the silver star. There are 7 keys to the great gate, being 8 in 1 and 1 in 8. First let the body of thee be still, bound by the cerements of will. Corpse rigid thus thou mayst abort the fidget babes that tease the thought. Next, let the breath rhythm be low, easy, regular, and slow, so that thy being be in tune with a great sea-specific swoon. Third, let thy life be pure and calm, swayed softly as a windless palm. Fourth, let the will to life be bound to the one love of the profound. Fifth, let the thought divinely free from sense observe its entity. Watch every thought that springs enhance, hour after hour thy vigilance. Intense and key, turned inwardness, no atom moment analysis. Sixth, on one thought securely pinned, still every whisper of the wind. So like a flame, straight and unstirred, burn up thy being in one word. Next, still that ecstasy prolong, thy meditation steep and strong, slaying even God should he distract thy attention from the chosen act. Last, all these things in one overpower, time that the midnight blossom flower. The oneness is yet even in this, my son, thou shalt not do amiss. If thou
restrain the expression shoot, I glance to rapture's darkling root, discarding name, form, sight, and stress. Even of this high consciousness, pierced to the heart, I leave thee. Thou art the master, I revere thy radiance that rolls upon. O brother of the silver star. Crowley, there are 7 keys to the great gate, being 8 in 1 and 1 in 8. First, let the body of thee be still, bound by the cerements of will. Corpse rigid, thus thou mayst abort the fidget babes that tease the thought. Next, let the breath rhythm be low, easy, regular and slow, so that thy being be in tune with the great sea's Pacific swoon. Third, let thy life be pure and calm, swayed softly as a windless palm. Fourth, let the will to live be bound to the one love of the profound. Fifth, let the thought divinely free from sense observe its entity. Watch every thought that springs enhance, hour after hour thy vigilance, intense and keen, turned inward miss. No atom of analysis, 6 on one thought securely pinned, still every whisper of the wind, so like a flame, straight and unstirred, burn up thy being in one word. Next, still that ecstasy prolonged, thy meditation steep and strong, slaying even God, should he distract thy attention from the chosen act. Last, all these things in one o'erpowered, timed at the midnight blossom flower. The oneness is yet even in this, my son, thou shalt not do amiss. If thou restrain the expression shoot,
Thy glance to rapture's darkling root, discarding name, form, sight, and stress, even of this high consciousness. Pierce to the heart, I leave thee here. Thou art the master I revere. Thy radiance that rolls afar, O brother of the silver star. Cry-dee-ha-ha, cry-dee-ha-ha, cry-dee-ha-ha. There are 7 keys to the great gate, being 8 in one and 1 in 8. First let the body of thee be still, bound by the cerements of will. Corpse rigid, thus thou mayst abort the fidget babes that tease the thought. Next let the breath rhythm be low, easy, regular and slow, so that thy being be in tune with the great sea's Pacific swoon. Let thy life be pure and calm, sweet softly as a windless palm. Fourth, let the will to live be bound to the one love of the profound. Fifth, let the thought divine be free from sense, observe its entity. Watch every thought that springs enhance. Hour after hour thy vigilance, intense and keen, turned inwardness. No atom of endlessly. On one thought securely pinned, still every whisper of the wind. So like a flame straight and unstirred, burn up thy being in one word. Next till that ecstasy prolong, thy meditation deep and strong. Slaying even God, should he distract thy attention from the chosen act. Lost all these things in one old power. Time as the midnight blossom flower. The oneness is yet even in this. My son, thou shalt not do amiss. If thou restrain the expression, shoot thy glance to rapture's darkling root, discarding name, form, sight, and stress, even of this high consciousness. Pierce to the heart, I leave thee here. Thou art the master I revere. Thy radiance that rolls afar, O brother of the silver star. Throw me a There are 7 keys to the great gate, being 8 in 1 and 1 in 8. First let the body of thee be still, bound by the cerements of will. Corpse rigid, thus thou mayst abort fidget babes that tease the thought.
Next, let the breath rhythm be low. Easy, regular, and slow. So that thy being be in tune with the great sea's Pacific swoon. Third, let thy life be pure and calm, swayed softly as a windless palm. Fourth, let the will to live be bound. To the one love of the broken. Fifth, let the thought divinely free from sense observe its entity. Watch every thought that springs enhance. Hour after hour thy vigilance. Intense and keen, turned inwardness. No has no more than elusives. Sixth, on one thought securely pinned. Still every whisper of the wind. So like a flame straight and unstirred. Burn up thy being in one word. Next, still that ecstasy prolonged. Thy meditation sweet and strong. Slaying even God, should he distract thy attention from the chosen act. Last all these things in one power. Time that the midnight blossom flowered. The oneness is yet even in this. My son, thou shalt not do amiss. If thou restrain the expression true, thy glance to raptures darkling blue, discarding name, form, sight and stress, even of this high consciousness, pierce to the heart, I leave thee here. Thou art the master I revere. Thy radiance that rolls afar. Oh, brother of the silver star. There are 7 keys to the great gate, being 8 in 1 and 1 in 8. First let the body of thee be still, bound by the cerements of will. Corpse rigid, thus thou mayst abort the fidget babes that tease the thought. Next, let the breath rhythm be low, easy, regular, and slow. So that thy being be in tune with the great sea's Pacific swoon. Third, let thy life be pure and calm, sway softly as a windless calm. Fourth, let the will to be bound to the one love of the profound. Fifth, let the thought divinely free from sense observe its entity. Watch every thought that springs enhance. Hour after hour thy vigilance. Intense and keen turned inward miss. No atom of analysis. Six, On one thought, securely pent still, every whisper of the wind. So like a flame straight and unstirred, burn up thy being in one
Next, still that ecstasy prolong, thy meditations deep and strong.
Slaying even God, should he distract thy attention from the chosen act?
Last all these things in one or power.
Time that the midnight blossom flowered.
The oneness is yet even in this.
my son. Thou shalt not do
If thou restrain the expression, shoot thy glance to rapture's darkling root.
discarding name, form, sight, and stress, even of this high consciousness. Pierce to the heart and give me ear. Thou art the master I revere. Thy radiance that rolls afar, O brother of the silver star.
There are 7 keys to the great gate, being 8 in one and 1 in 8. First, let the body of thee be still, bound by the cerements of will.
Corpse rigid thus thou mayst aboard the fidget babes that tease the thought. Next let the breath rhythm be low, easy, regular, and slow.
That my being be in tune with the great city's Pacific swoon.
Third, let thy life be pure and calm, swayed softly as a windless palm.
Fourth, let the will to live be bound
To the one love of the profound.
Fifth, let the thought divinely free from sense observe its entity.
Watch every thought that springs enhance, hour after hour thy vigilance, intense and keen turned inward miss, no atom of analysis. Sits on one thought securely pinned, still every whisper of the wind. So like a flame straight and unstirred, burn up thy being in one word.
Still that ecstasy prolong, thy meditations deep and strong.
Slaying even God
Whatever goodness we experience in this life is truly a taste of God, for it is God, for it is God. Everything that is good is God. Whatever goodness we experience in this life is truly a taste of God, for it is God. For it is God. Everything that is good is God. Whatever goodness we experience in this life is truly a taste of God. For it is God. For it is God. Everything that is good is God. Whatever goodness we experience in this life, truly a taste of God. For it is God. For it is Everything that is good is God. Whatever goodness we experience in this life is truly a taste of God. For it is God. For it is Everything that is good is God. Whatever goodness we experience in this life is truly a taste of God. For it is God. For it is Everything that is good is God. Whatever goodness we experience in this life is truly a taste of God, for it is God. Good is God. Whatever goodness we experience in this life is truly a taste of God, for it is God. Everything that is good is God. Whatever goodness we experience in this life is truly a taste of God, for it is God. Everything that is good is God. Whatever goodness we experience in this life is truly a taste of God, for it is God. Whatever goodness we experience in this life is truly a taste of God, for it is God. Everything that is good is God. Whatever goodness we experience in this life is truly a taste of God, for it is God.
He died not for men, but for each man. If each man had been the only man, he would have done no less. He died not for men, but for each man. If each man had been the only man, he would have done no less. from men, but for each man. If each man had been the only man, maybe he would have done no less. He died not for men, but for each man. If each man had been the only man, maybe he would have done no less. He died not for men, but for each man. If each man had been the only man, maybe he would have done no less. He died not for men, but for each man. If each man had been the only man, maybe he would have done no less. He died not for men, but for each man. If each man had been the only man, maybe he would have done no less. He died not for men, but for each man. If each man had been the only man, maybe he would have done no less. Died not for men, but for each man. If each man had been the only man, maybe he would have done no less. He died not for men, but for each man. If each man had been the only man, maybe he would have done no less. Died not for men, but for each man. If each man had been the only man, maybe he would have done no less.
He died not for men, but for each man. If each man had been the only man, maybe he would have done no less. He died not for men, but for each man. If each man had been the only man, maybe he would He died not for me, for each man. If each man had been the only man made, he would have done no less. He died not for me, but for each man. If each man had been the only man made, he would have done no less. He died not for me, but for each man. If each man had been the only man made, he would have done no less. He died not for man, but for each man. If each man had been the only man made, he would have done no less. He died not for man, but for each man. If each man had been the only man made, he would have done no. He died not for man, but for each man. If each man had been the only man made, he would have done no less. He died not for man, but for each man. If each man had been the only man made, he would have done no less. He died not for man, not for each man. If each man had been the only man made, he would have done no less. As a light bearer, you are not afraid of the dark. But it is only when you walk through your own darkness within your mind, bearing your torch, that you can become one with the light. You can illuminate the whole world and never become the light. But once you walk through the deepest, darkest places of you, a flaming light, that is where you become. As a light bearer, you are not afraid of the dark. But it is only when you walk through your own darkness, within your mind, bearing your torch, that you can become one with the light. You can illuminate the whole world and become the light. But once you walk through the deepest, darkest places of you, a flaming light, that is where you become it. That is where you become it. As a light bearer, you are not afraid of the dark. But it is only when you walk through your own darkness, within your mind, bearing your torch, that you can become one with the light. You can illuminate the whole another, become the light. Once you walk through the deepest, darkest places of you, a flaming light, that is where that is where you become it. As a light bearer, you are not afraid of the dark. But it is only when you walk through your own darkness, within your mind, bearing your torch, that you can become one with the light. You can illuminate the whole world and never become But once you walk through the deepest, darkest places of you, a flaming light. That is where you become it. As a light bearer, you are not afraid of the dark, but it is only when you walk through your own darkness within your mind, bearing your torch, that you can become one with the light. You can illuminate the whole world and never become the light. But once you walk through the deepest, darkest places of you, a flaming light. That is where you become it. That is where you become it. As a light bearer, you are not afraid of the dark, but it is only when you walk through your own darkness within your mind, bearing your torch, that you can become one with the light. You can illuminate the whole world and never become the light. But once you walk through the deepest, darkest places of you, a flaming light. That is where you become it. That is where you become it. As a light bearer, afraid of the dark, but it is only when you walk through your own darkness within your mind, bearing your torch, that you can become one with the light. You can illuminate the whole world and never become the light. But once you walk through the deepest, darkest places, darkest places, that is where you become it. That is where you become it. As a light bearer, you are not afraid of the dark, but it is only when you walk through your own darkness within your mind, bearing your torch, that you can become one with the light. You can illuminate the whole world and never become the light, but once you walk through the deepest, darkest places of you, a flaming light, that is where you become as a light bearer. You are not afraid of the dark, but it is only when you walk through your own darkness within your mind, bearing your torch, that you can become one with the light. You can illuminate the whole world and never become the light, but once you walk through the deepest, darkest places of you, a flaming light, that is where you become it. That is where you become it. As a light bearer, you are not afraid of the dark, but it is only when you walk through your own darkness within your mind, bearing your torch, that you can become one with the light. You can illuminate the whole world and never become the light, but once you walk through the deepest, darkest places of you, a flaming light. That is where you become it. That is where you become it. As a light bearer, you are not afraid of the dark. As a light bearer, you are not afraid of the dark. But it is only when you walk through your own darkness within your mind, bearing your torch, that you can become one with the light. You can illuminate the whole world and never become the light. But once you walk through the deepest, darkest places of you, a flame and light, that is where you become it. As a light bearer, you are not afraid of the dark. But it is only when you walk through your own darkness within in your mind, bearing your torch, that you can become one with the light. You can illuminate the whole world and never become the light. But once you walk through the deepest, darkest places of you, a flame and light, that is where you become it. As a light bearer, you are not afraid of the dark. But it is only when you walk through your own darkness within your mind, bearing your torch, that you can become one with the light. You can illuminate the whole world and never become the light. But once you walk through the deepest, darkest places of you, a flame and light, that is where you become it. There's a light there where you are not afraid of the dark. But it is only when you walk through your own darkness within your mind. Bearing your torch, you can become one with the light. You can illuminate the whole world and make them the light. But once you walk through the deepest, darkest places of you, are claim the light. That is where you become it. As a light bearer, you are not afraid of the dark. But it is only when you walk through your own darkness within your mind, bearing your torch, that you can become one with the light. You can illuminate the whole world and never become the light. But once you walk through the deepest, darkest places of you, a flame and light, that is where you become it. As a light bearer, you are not afraid of the dark. But it is only when you walk through your own darkness within your mind, bearing a torch, that you can become one with the light. You can illuminate the whole world and never become the light. But once you walk through the deepest, darkest places, you flame light. That is where you become it. As a light bearer, you are not afraid of the dark. But it is only when you walk through your own darkness within your mind, bearing your torch, that you can become one with the light. You can illuminate the whole world and never become the light. But once you walk through the deepest, darkest places of you, a flame and light, that is where you become it. As a light bearer, you are not afraid of the dark. torch that you can become one with the light. You can illuminate the whole world and never become the light. But once you walk through the deepest, darkest places of you, a flaming light, that is where you become it. As a light bearer, you are not afraid of the dark. But it is only when you walk through your own darkness within your mind, bearing a torch, that you can become one with the light. You can illuminate the whole world and never become the light. But once you walk through the deepest, darkest places of you, a flaming light, that is where you become it. As a light there, you are not afraid of the dark. But it is only when you walk through your own darkness within your mind, bearing a torch, you can become one with the light. You can illuminate the whole world and never become the light. But once you walk through the deepest, darkest places of you, a flaming light, that is where you become it. As a light bearer, you are not afraid of the dark. But it is only when you walk through your own darkness within your mind, bearing a torch, that you can become one with the light. You can illuminate the whole world and never become the light. But once you walk through the deepest, darkest places of you, a flaming light, that is where you become it.
May the light of the guardian dwell in you always. And may you be a source of light in those places where shadows gather.
May the light of the guardian dwell in you always. And may you be a source of light in those places where shadows gather.
May the light of the guardian dwell in you always. And may you be a source of light in those places where shadows gather.
May the light of the guardian dwell in you
May the light of the guardian dwell in you always. And may you be a source of light in those places where shadows gather.
May the light of the guardian dwell in you always. And may you be a source of light in those places where shadows gather. May the light of the guardian dwell in you always, and may you be a source of light in those places where shadows gather.
May the light of the guardian dwell in you always.
And may you be a source of light in those places where shadows gather.
By the force of the fashion of love, when I broke through the shroud, through the cloud, through the storm, through the smoke, to the mountain of passion volcanic that woke, I rise, I choke. By the rage of the mage, I invoke the fire, the fury, the thunder that spoke, a spell that ignites and consumes as it cloaks. I through the ash, through the ice, where the shadows entwine, I have carved out a path to the edge of the line. Every heart beat a drum, every breath an incline. I climb divine. By the rage of the mage, I invoke the fire, the fury, the thunder that smoke, the spell that ignites and consumes as it cloaks. light. I summon the tempest, I summon the fight. The maids will alight. By the rage of the maids I invoke the fire, the fury, the thunder that spoke. A spell that ignites and consumes as it closes. I Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me, the one who lives there. She once was a true love of mine. On the side of a hill in the deep forest green, tracing sparrow, snow-crested brown. Blankets and bedclothes, the child of the mountain sleeps unaware of the clarion call. Tell her maybe cambric shirt, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Without no seams nor needlework, then she'll be a true love of mine.
Is that I reckon that
On the side of the hill.
Australian police are not, or those who were on duty at the time and were in the vicinity are not necessarily, trained for this kind of thing. So I'm sure that's something that they can look at. And then just with regard to the conspiracy theory of it, I'm not necessarily a conspiracy theorist. However, over the past couple of years, in all of us checking through the history of Zionism and many of the false flags like USS Liberty and even 9/11 and JFK and RFK and the bombing of the King David Hotel and the Irgun and all of these other things. I mean, if that's the normal playbook, it's not something that one can entirely throw out.